Blog Talk Radio.
Well, hello everyone. This is Laurie Smith, and this is normally one child abuse survivor to another restoration. And just wanted to wish everybody a happy Canadian Thanksgiving, my Canadian listeners, my Canadian listening friends, and everybody else. I just hope you're okay and all is going well with you. I haven't done a show for a while. There's been several reasons why. But I've missed doing the shows. I like doing these shows, and I really like sharing with people, what I find helpful. And it keeps me sort of going on my healing journey, which I'm still working on. And so, I appreciate everybody's tuning into my shows, like I've said over the years. And I just want to do a quick show just to update everybody. Happy Canadian Thanksgiving. That's today. It's a holiday here in Canada, and it is October the 10th. It's 5 o'clock p.m. here in the afternoon, and it's Monday. And I'm glad to be here. I'm just off. Had a long weekend, basically just spending time with my husband. He's been very sick lately. He hasn't been doing all that well, but he's holding in there. We've been able to keep him out of the hospital, which is great. And so he's doing pretty good, just maintaining. And me, I'm doing all right. I do have some kind of rather sort of interesting news for people. It's been a kind of a harsh few weeks, actually. 2 weeks ago, my dad died, my abuser dad. And it's been, this is pretty well what kind of, I was already struggling to do the show daily, even though I was really wanted to do them and enjoyed doing them, because I have to move. Me and my husband have to move. We don't even know when we have to move, but we have to move, and so we have to kind of get geared up for it. And I've lived in the same place for 10 years, so I've got a lot of stuff, and I needed to sort of get organized. We have a lot of work to do to move, and it's just going to be me doing this move because my husband can't help. He's very sick, and he can't even hardly move himself to the bathroom, let alone help me pack and clean and all that. So it's been sort of a planning sort of couple of weeks for me, 3 weeks, sort of getting things organized to actually make this move and deciding what we really need. He's in a wheelchair sometimes, so it's going to be difficult to find a place to live. So I had actually stopped doing some shows there for a week, just to take a week off to get some things done around the house here. Plus I work full time, right? So it's a lot of work. And then I get the news from my sister who phoned me. I haven't talked to anybody in my family. I've cut them off, like I said, years ago. And but I knew at some point my dad would be dying, but I wasn't sure if anybody was going to actually let me know, because they knew that I had cut them off, and they knew that I didn't want any contact with any of the family. And so I was kind of thinking that they wouldn't let me know, which was kind of a relief, really. But sadly enough, my sister called to tell me that my dad died. Well, he was dying, and she really felt that it was important for her to do that, because she wouldn't be able to live with herself if she didn't tell me that our dad was dying, just in case I wanted to go say some final words to him or make peace, whatever. I cut him off for a reason. There was a good reason for it. He was always very agitated around me. The two of us never got along. And even on our best behavior, that's all it was. We had a lot of animosity between each other, and that's because I was always trying to stop my dad from raping my mother. That was a big part of it. And you can go back and listen to any of my shows here, or go to my Born in Hell website. Just type in Born in Hell, Laurie Smith. All my work comes up there. I've put out everything that I've done pretty much on that website. All my video, audio, all my stuff. Spreaker, all that stuff is there, like hundreds and actually thousands of shows. And also 27 hours worth of video that I did, because I wanted people to really understand what it's like to grow up abused, and the dynamics involved with the family and the dysfunction, and then, the twisted, really twisted psychological and emotional damage that it does. I'm still dealing with all of this, because it doesn't go away, right? I'm healing from it. I'm moving through and healing from it. But I knew at some point that my dad was going to die. He was 94 years old. He lived a very long life. I wouldn't say it was a happy life. He made his life miserable with his wife and his children all the whole time he was married. Before he was married, he grew up in an abusive home, so I don't think he was all that happy as a young person. Spent years with this woman that he hated, and she hated him, and so they were miserably married until my mom died. And then after that, he actually started to sort of enjoy himself a little bit, enjoy his life a little bit, away from the family, so pretty much. He was still in touch with everybody. But he found a family that actually kind of took him in as one of their own, which was really nice because they didn't know the background or the history of anything that he had done to his own family. And they just loved him and took care of him and treated him like as if he was their grandpa and their dad, which was great. I was happy for him that he found this family. It was all a big farce because they had no idea what he had done and what kind of a person he really was. But I didn't want to kibosh it for him, and nobody did. So we just let him have this great relationship with this one family that wasn't related to him, and which was wonderful. So he spent some years being happy, which is great. I was happy about that. Then he wanted to move to Canada. Now this is all what started all this stuff, and I really detailed this in my videos there that I did, the Born in Hell video series, talking about that's the reason why I went public with my stuff anyway back in 2010, was because my abuser dad came to live with me for a year and drove me crazy. And I was fearing for my life. He had a knife held out at me in my kitchen, and he was schizophrenic, paranoid schizophrenic, as well as borderline personality disorder, and he hated me. I mean, he used to say, "Oh, we love you, Lori," as if him and the family actually loved me, which is a big farce. And he's mentally ill. What are you going to do? So, after he moved out, I told him, I said, him and the rest of my siblings, really my sister, because I wasn't talking to my brother at the time. There's not very many people left in my family. Now there's even less because my dad just died 2 weeks ago, right? So now there's just 2 siblings left plus myself. There's 3 of us left plus my nephew and a niece and a couple other people. But it's very, very slim. It's going down, and it's winding down. And, I mean, they all knew that I cut them off. I'm not going to have anything to do with them. So no, I didn't go to the funeral. I was actually glad that my sister called to tell me, because at least now I can put that behind me. I'm not waiting for a phone call anymore about my dad's death. It's done. He's dead. I'm at peace with that. But it has been a hard couple of weeks, just thinking about my family. I love my family very much. That's why I went public with my story, because I wanted people to see what abuse does to children and how horrific it is on children. And that the abusers don't care about the children. That's why they're abusing their children, right? And that I loved my family very much. And I used to tell them that. It didn't matter. It didn't matter that I used to tell my mom that I loved her. She still beat the shit out of me anyway. And she still called me horrible names. And she let my brother rape me. And, I used to tell her I loved her. It didn't make any difference. I used to write poems for her, these beautiful poems in Spanish. I actually put all of this on my Born in Hell website, if you want to go check it out. And I mean, my dad, same thing. I used to tell my dad I loved him, and it didn't get me anywhere. He'd belt across the face. He'd beat me up. He'd try to rape my mom, and I'd go out there to protect my mom, and he'd throw me into walls and punch me and dig into my ribs, and he damaged my ribs and my hip, and for life, right? Like, the guy injured me, and so did my mom. But the thing is I used to tell my parents I love them, and they really didn't show any love back to me, right? And I suppose that's why it hurt so much, because I really wanted my parents to love me, and they didn't want to love me, and that was the problem. That's why that's why the animosity was just continued on in the family, because my parents knew that I was holding them responsible because they didn't do the right thing by their children. I was the last of 7 children. And so, the rest of my siblings all, put their heads up their asses and just decided that they weren't going to deal with any of this. They were just going to have their own feelings apart from the whole thing outside of the family, but that when they were around the family, they were just going to pretend that everything was okay. And I wouldn't do that. I didn't want to go along with that. I thought that was bullshit. 2 of my siblings committed suicide, and just for their honor alone, one of them was my abuser, sexually abused me, but he was abused long before I was even born, and he was being abused when I was born. He was being abused, and that's why the Child Protection Services, CPS, actually got involved. But then later, he abused me sexually as a child, right? So the thing is he was abused. We were all abused, and the thing is, am I supposed to what am I supposed to do? Be so down and sad that my abuser dad is dead? No, I mean, I really don't care. The issue is that I'm glad that he didn't suffer. He didn't suffer on and on and on to 105 or something. He was 94. He was not physically well anymore. His health was going downhill. His mind was shot. His mind was shot before I was born. So he was psychotic. He used to have psychotic episodes. He used to threaten to kill the family at night. He He would wake us all up and tell us he was going to kill us because we were all demon seed, and then we all needed to die, including him. He would say, "I'm going to kill you all, and I'm going to kill myself. We're all from the devil. We're all demon seed, you know." And I used to sleep with a knife under my bed because I thought, "You're not killing me, asshole. It'll be you or me." And I was like, like 9, 10 years old, 11 years old. And I mean, this is went on forever, right? While I was growing up, my dad used to see. He had all kinds of problems at night, especially at night with demons and stuff that would attack him, and he thought it was the devil attacking him. And he thought the people in the daytime were the devil. He thought my niece was the devil. He used to accuse me of being a demon, like the demon seed, and I was afraid that, he would come in my room and tear up my room, trash my posters. And if I said anything, I'd get a beating. So I had to sit there and just be quiet because I didn't want him to kill me, thinking that, because he thought I was the devil or I was a demon or something, right? And so he was very psychotic, and, he had a horrible life, and he ruined our lives, and my mother as well. And so he's dead. So now both my abusers are dead, and as well as my brother. So that means all 3 of my abusers are dead, officially. Does it bring me any peace? Not really. The damage is done. Like, I can't get them to undo it. I can't get them to take it back. There's no way to get resolution or restitution or justice or anything else, I've been made barren, I sit around and think about that all the time, I could have tried to, like, take in some foster kids and stuff. Not in my situation, no, especially with my husband, the way, his terminal illness, he's been terminally ill for 15 years, it's been a bumpy ride. And it just wouldn't have been a good, solid, steady life for any child that I would have taken in if I could, even if I could have, you know what I mean? And I don't really believe in adoption, so, foster care would have been the next best bet. But, I can't have any children who's made barren by sexual abuse. Nobody in my family cares. They don't care. They don't care. They're just like, whatever. You're just a piece of shit anyway. And so, am I supposed to be like, am I sad that my dad is dead? Actually, no. Am I happy? No. Right now, I'm just trying to make it through. It's been a couple of long weeks. My husband's very sick as well. I don't have hardly any friends locally. I do have a couple people, but they don't come around and they don't see if I need anything because they're busy with their lives. I can't expect people just to be, oh, Lori's got a sick husband over there. I should see if she needs anything. Now, when he dies, of course, they'll all be around. Oh, what can we do for you? For about 3 days. And then they'll be gone. That's why I'm not even going to tell anybody when he goes. I'm not even going to tell anybody. They won't even know because I don't want them around for 3 days and then have them disappear out of my life again. People either want you in their life or they don't. I've already been rejected by my family. That's really unfortunate. Rejected by so many people, And there are a few people that do love me and care about me, and that's wonderful. I do have some friends that do care. My nephew, he's an awesome guy. I don't keep in touch with him and his family. He's got, I don't know how many kids he has now, but I know for sure there's 2 because I have 2 great nieces. I have a great niece and a great nephew. And, but I don't know if there's any more because I haven't been in touch with him. And, I don't know what's going on in their family, but I pray for him and I keep him in my heart. I love my nephew very much. He's a good guy, and he's always been kind of the one to try to keep in touch with everybody. And now that's my sister's son, and she's dead. She died years ago from cancer. Now, and then his dad died. Her husband died a couple of years later, a year and a half later or something. So now, he's got no parents either, really. He's on his own. And there's no grandparents, and we're all dropping like flies, so his family's dwindling very much so. But at least he's got a family, and that's wonderful, and I'm happy for him, For me, I've got nothing. I've got a husband who's dying. I've got no children. It's been made barren by child sexual abuse. I've had a life of hell, really. And so, it's like, am I really all that upset that my abusers are dead? Not really. But I'm also not happy because our family was ruined by some people that just chose to be hateful and hurtful and ruin and destroy what they had. Instead of being thankful, like here I sit on our Canadian Thanksgiving Day, and I sit there and I think, God, to have the opportunity to have 7 children born healthy, well, there were 2 of us weren't born healthy, but we made it, we survived. But my mom wasn't happy about that. See, she was mad that we actually survived because I think she was literally trying to abort me for sure, and I think that she was probably trying to abort my sister too. Carried us full term. 2 died in between us. So I think she was hoping probably, you know. And that's people would say that's probably mean of me to say, but not when your mom tells you that you were a rape child. She never wanted you in the first place. My mom used to tell me that. You know, she'd say, "You're just a rape child. I never wanted you in the first place." And she'd push me out of the way, slap me around. You know, she didn't want me. I was not wanted. And my dad, you know, he just was what he was. He was an ignorant, mentally ill man. So psychologically ill man. So yeah, my dad's dead. So I didn't go to the funeral. I'm really glad that I didn't. I said years and years ago when I was a young girl that I was not going to his funeral. I told my mom this. I said, I'm not going to his funeral if he dies. I'm telling you right now. You're my witness. I am not going to his funeral. And she's like, you should go to your dad's funeral. You know, it's the right thing to do. I'm like, look, I don't care. You know, the man just rapes you, beats on you, beats on the boys, beats on us, calls us all demon seed, tells us he's going to kill us in the middle of the night, goes out on the freeway and tries to kill himself. You know, why should I? He doesn't care about his family, doesn't care about his sons, he doesn't care about you. Why should I go to his funeral? You know, so I didn't go, and I'm really glad that I didn't go. I'm very happy that I stuck to my convictions of what's right and what's wrong. Everything that man did was wrong, you know. And so I'm glad that I didn't go, actually. I'm very glad. Stuck to my convictions, and so I'm happy about that. My sister's kind of hoping I'd call her, you know, and I think they all would like to talk to me. I really don't have anything to say to them, anything different than I've said years and years before that's going to make a difference in our relationship. See, my family, my older siblings, think that I should be doing something for them. Now, that's a joke. They're the older siblings. They should have been doing something for me. As a matter of fact, they should have been trying to protect me from the abuse, right? But no, they caused most of the abuse because they got me in trouble with my mom mainly, so that my mom would beat on me instead of them. That's what they did. They manipulated my mom so that she would beat on me instead of them. Thanks a lot, brothers and sisters. I really appreciate that. So, you know, I don't have really any real that, you know, serious kind of love in my heart for my siblings. You know, they were responsible for some of the abuse because they put me in harm's path between my mother and myself, and they encouraged her to beat on me. So, you know, should I love them? Do I care about them? You know, only with the love that God commands, right? And only with the care that God commands. I don't want to see anything bad happen to them. I would never want to see anything bad happen to my siblings. That's real love, right? But am I going to I don't want them in my life. Because they want something from me, see. They want my money, they want me to do this for them, they want me to do that for them, and they expect that I should. And why should I? I'm the youngest, I have the least. As a matter of fact, I don't even have any children, because their brother, my brother, our brother, was 13 years older than me, decided to rape me for about a year, causing me to be barren. So why would I don't owe them anything? So as this 2 weeks progressed along here since my dad died, you know, I had to get in touch with my thoughts, and I thought, you know, I don't owe them anything. Absolutely nothing. Now, whether they owe me anything, I mean, that's up to somebody else's judgment. But I don't owe them anything. I'm the youngest sibling. I have no children, made barren by child sexual abuse. Did they ever once come over and try to console me about that? No. And they know about it. Have they knocked on my door or called and said, God, we need to meet because I need to hold you. I need to hug you. I need to tell you I'm sorry, you know. And, you know, it never should have happened. And can we just hold your hand and help you get through this? No, they're not here for me. But I'm supposed to be there for them and care about them, right? It's like, no. See, this is where my boundaries are very set and very clear. You know, I'm not going to allow people to mistreat me anymore. Not going to allow my abusive family to have their ability to get their clutches and their little clutchy dead fingers on me. No thanks. You know what I mean? I'm done with that. You know, if they can't come over and show me some respect and decency, care and concern, they have no business being in my life. And so I'm glad that I got that straight. But it took me 2 weeks of dealing with some things that I really had to kind of get out of the way. And that was that I do love my sister and I wanted to call her so bad, you know. She's 5 years older than me. I know she's probably struggling. Maybe she's married now. I hope so. I hope she's got a life going. She didn't have one when I cut her off, so now hopefully she's got something going on now. And, I care about my sister very much so, and I don't want to see anything bad happen to her. But then again, I don't want her in my life at all. She's not helpful to me. She's not there for me. I told her about the child sexual abuse one night, actually, when I disclosed it to her. The reason I disclosed it to her, this was back in 2011, because I wanted, it was maybe closer to 2012, 2011, 2012, right in there, because I wanted her to know that I was sexually abused just in case she had been sexually abused, and I thought maybe she would then feel, comfortable enough to actually tell me about it or go and get some help about it, right? Just in case my brother sexually abused her or my dad or something. My dad was a perv big time. And I thought, you never know, right? Well, she never said anything to me. She didn't say anything. She just sat there. So I got out of the car and I thought, yeah, I'm very much on my own in this relationship. Yeah, okay, sure, I could call my sister and I could call my brother and I could call my nephew and then we could all get back together in each other's lives and I'd still be on my own. What's the point? I don't need their aggravation and I don't need their crap. It's like you're either going to be here to help me or get out. You know what I mean? So that's how I feel about it. I don't owe them anything. They're older and much older than myself, and they're not here for me. So I don't need them in my life. So I'm glad I straightened that out. But it did take me a couple of weeks of really, doing some searching my heart and searching what was going on in my feelings, about this whole thing. So I will be back on doing some more shows, and I just wanted to let everybody know, eventually here, I'm actually taking some time off because I have to get this move organized. It's going to be difficult to find a place to live. We might have to go through housing, like the government housing type thing, because of Cecil's situation with the wheelchair and everything. It's going to be very difficult to find housing. So I'm under stress right now. I've got no time to deal with stuff. I'm working full time. And so I've decided that the shows kind of had to wait. So this is just an update to let you know that I will be back on. And I'm thinking, hopefully we can get this all squared away in the next couple of months. And I'll sort of keep you posted here, just update here and there until we can get back on with the shows. Because I really do enjoy doing those shows. And I think they're important for me. And hopefully they're helping somebody else out. So to all my Canadian friends out there, if you're listening, happy Thanksgiving to you. I hope you're having a wonderful day. My husband and I are just getting ready. I'm going to be cooking supper here shortly. We're having a late Thanksgiving supper tonight. And it's not going to be so much traditional. I'm doing his favorite, which is pork tenderloin cutlets with that are like deep fried, like breaded cutlets, with stuffing and mashed potatoes and gravy. And we're having vegetable corn, and we're having some beautiful bread, and we're having pumpkin cheesecake. And so I am very thankful. I'm thankful to God that He brought me out of the pits of despair. I'm thankful to God for giving me the strength to make a move on my healing journey and reach out and get some help. I'm thankful to God for allowing my husband to live this long. Every day we're thankful that when we wake up and we're still together, and it's a major blessing. I'm thankful for all of you who've taken the time to listen to all of my shows and follow my work through the years. I'm thankful for those people that really do care about me. And I know there's a lot of people out there that I don't even know personally, but I just know over the years through my work that personally probably pray for me and care about me. And God bless you, and I care about you too. And, and you're in my heart, man. I carry my friends with me. I'm thankful for a lot of things. I'm thankful for my cat, who really is my baby, since I didn't get to have any children. I've got this beautiful cat, and I'm very, very thankful for her. Her name's Little Lori. And I'm thankful for every day the opportunity to wake up just that much more healed from the abuse that I suffered as a child. And I'm thankful that I could be a voice for other survivors out here who cannot speak out for whatever reason or just choose not to. And so, if you're a survivor and you're struggling, I just want to say this. I say this on all my shows. You make sure that you get help, right? Do not ever give up. I'm telling you, it's hard. It's hard. There's many times I want to give up. I'll just be honest. I mean, that's why I'm doing these shows. There's no point in me coming on here and just making it all sound good. Oh, life's great for me. Don't know about you. It's hard sometimes. I have days where I want to quit. I want to give up, And I mean, sometimes I have days in a row like that. This last couple of weeks has been like that. I just want to give up. I'm like, I'm done. How much more can I do? I'm tired, man. I'm so tired, it's not even funny. I was tired. This is how I felt when I was 10 years old, after being sexually abused at the age of 8 to 9, being beaten and battered by my mother, trashed by my dad. You know, I'm tired. I'm just as tired. I'm actually more tired now because I'm 50. But 10 years old, I wanted to be dead. You know, and I'm feeling sort of the same feelings. You know, hanging around me, that I'm extremely exhausted. I'm really tired. It's not a physical tiredness. It's a spiritual thing. I'm really tired. And I mean, there's days where I'm thinking I can't do anymore, you know. But then there's that thing that says, no, you know what? The only way to victory for me, my only victory, is that every day that I wake up, it's a slap in my abuser's face and a victory and a tribute to God for getting me through that darkness, right? That's what gets me through. And it's hard. And I'm telling you, it is hard. So you have to reach out. You have to get some help. If you don't trust people, go anonymous. Get anonymous help. That's what I did. And, you know, there's all kinds of anonymous websites out there where you can get help for survivors of abuse. You don't have to give your real name or anything. Just go on. You can go on as some other name, you know, and get help, right? Call the crisis line if you have to. You do whatever it takes, but you make sure you reach out, because you sure did not deserve to be abused, and neither did I. And you sure do not deserve to be mistreated now, and neither do I. And you sure deserve help, and so do I. And so if you're struggling and you know that you can't cope, you make a phone call. You reach out to somebody. If you don't have a phone, you go talk to somebody. You get some help. I'm telling you. You listen to my voice. I'm telling you right now. Do not give up. The reason I keep doing this is because 2 of my brothers killed themselves. They grew up in the same home I did. They had the same family I did. They killed themselves. And I was heading that way. And I'm thankful that I made the right decision to stick it out. But that doesn't mean it's easy. And it doesn't mean that every day is just so wonderful. You know. No, it's incredibly hard. And so I tell you, don't do this walk alone. Get some help. Reach out and get some help. And until next time, I wish you a wonderful day. God bless you all. Talk to you soon.